Yes, hello everybody. It's so great to see so many familiar faces in the crowd. Back from Austin VR days. We've got our Eighth Wall crew in here. This is actually my first time at AWE. Do we have any other first timers in the room? Okay, all right. Rigel, how many times have you been to AWE?
I've been AWE in it since 2018 with the Eighth Wall crew. So this is my home. This is where we love to launch things, announce things, and we've got a lot of great stuff in store for you today in the spirit of that.
So we're here to talk to you today about how AI and WebAR is breaking the build cycle.
And I'm going to go walk over here so I can operate the slides.
Thank you. First, let's quickly give you a recap of what is Eighth Wall. You probably know Eighth Wall as the go-to place to develop WebAR. Our developers have created hundreds of thousands of projects and have been seen hundreds of millions of times by end users. And this is just a smattering of examples that are available on our Discovery Hub, where developers can publish their creations directly on our site. Shout out to Growth PM Megan right there. Woo! But there are thousands and thousands more. If you want to go to the next slide here, this is an example of the brands that have made experiences with Eighth Wall. We're trusted by brands and agencies everywhere, and it's for good reason. We have state-of-the-art computer vision stack. We have a Megan, you're making me laugh. We have a state-of-the-art computer vision stack. We have a web-based collaboration tool and platform that's easy to use, and most importantly, you can deploy your projects anywhere to a device that has a web browser. You really get universal reach with Eighth Wall. And really quick, because lots of things have changed recently, I want to give you all some context here. How we got to where we are today. In 2018, Eighth Wall launched WebAR, and shortly thereafter, the Cloud Editor developer platform. And then in 2022, Eighth Wall was acquired by Niantic Labs. Just last year in 2024, Eighth Wall announced Studio, our visual developer tool, was entering beta right here on this stage. Well, maybe not this stage, but
one room over.
Yeah. And most recently, just a few weeks ago, you may have heard of the acquisition of Niantic Labs by Scopely was finalized. And as part of that deal, Niantic Spatial has spun out, and Eighth Wall is now a part of this new company, this new separate company called Niantic Spatial. And that brings us to today, AWE 2025 in lovely Long Beach. And now that you have all of that context, let's get into the content. Studio is officially out of beta. Thank you for the applause. Studio is designed for rapid AR and 3D development with tons of built-in features and make things fast and easy while also giving the developer total control over their experience. So what do you get in the general release of Niantic Studio? You get all of the AR features that you've come to know and love with Eighth Wall. That includes world effects, like this example built by Current Studios for Irish Spring. I think it's really cool. It transforms the world around you into this beautiful nature scene. You also get face effects for anchoring content to your face. This is an example built for the Top Gun Maverick movie by Powster. It's really cool. You get to try on a helmet, put your call sign on, and take a picture. Very cool. And recently launched in Studio, a very hotly requested feature is image targets for flat and curved surfaces. This is an example here of a Pac-Man game for Pizza Hut boxes. Classic favorite example of image targets out in the wild. And last but not least, we have Niantic Spatial VPS, which is for augmenting real-world locations. This is an example built by Unbound for Coca-Cola, which was on the USC campus for Halloween, a cool spooky activation. So all of that's included in Studio General Release, and I'll hand it to Rigel to talk more about all the developer features that we've been working on for the last year.
Thanks. So yeah, it's been a really busy year since we announced Studio in beta. So we've been busy adding and refining all the features that our developers felt were really important for a modern AR development platform. For example, our integrated AR simulator runs our actual SLAM engine in real time on top of a collection of video feeds, which let you test AR without even needing a phone in a bunch of different locations. We also let you simulate image targets without even needing the image target in front of you, as well as traveling around the world in the geospatial browser and viewing splats remotely through the simulator. So it's just one example of something that you can see. There's a whole slew of stuff here. We also shipped prefabs, multi-scene support, splats, map tiles, and I'll talk a little bit about a few of these. So prefabs launched last week. This is a really powerful new feature that we think improves efficiency quite a lot. It's really easy to make a prefab in Studio. You just right-click on any entity in your hierarchy and select Make Prefab, and then you can find all of your prefabs here in the Prefab tab. Any change that you make there is going to propagate across all of your prefab instances. And here's like an example of rotating a cannon at the source, and then it is updated everywhere live. We also introduced a prefab editor, so you can go into this isolation view outside the context of a scene and make edits that way. So you got to add a capybara at scale. This is how you do it. We also support Niantic spatial map tiles. So if you've ever played one of the Niantic Labs games, you might recognize this data that's coming in. On the left here is this really cool flight simulator built by our very own George Butler here in the front row. It's really hard, as you can see, to get every one of those rings, And then on the right, to kick off our pirate theme for today, you'll see I have this is a GPS walking experience where you walk around and sail throughout the world, and we have this like sort of sunken map tile world below you. Speaking of VPS, so those are all VPS waypoints to the islands. So speaking of VPS, we have support for both splats and VPS in Studio. So here on the left, you can see this is the Studio interface. I've found a place in the real world that we've, the Niantic spatial platform has generated splats for all of these places that were wayspots in the games. So here you can actually edit directly against those places in this photorealistic way. And everything that you do here has a one-to-one relationship with what you see in real life, which is what you can see on the right. In fact, it's almost looks better, honestly, in Studio. Also, we're announcing, this week, a new feature called Android Export, which is really exciting because, while we've always supported built-in web publish and hosting, we know that it's going to be, even better for developers if they have more options for exporting. So we think this is going to be a real game changer for people who want to monetize their content through the app stores. And there's a lot of features in here. We support what's called live builds. So instead of just bundling everything into a static build, you can actually push remote updates to your app without you needing to do anything, which is pretty cool. You can also download all of your historical builds, everything you've ever exported you can get access to. Of course, you can customize your app icon and change all of those permissions and things like that. But it's really simple to use. It's all inside of the Publish button now. So go ahead and check that out. Back to Kaci. How much does this cost?
Yeah, last but not least, it's officially free to develop and publish, including for commercial use. So this is a relatively recent change, and wanted to highlight that here. We heard the feedback on the pricing, and we have officially introduced a white label option. So you can develop for free and publish for free any commercial project you like, inclusive of the 8th wall splash screen, and then the white label option, you can pay to have that removed.
But why would anyone want to remove our beautiful logo? Come on, I worked hard on that.
All right, so that's everything that we've been working on for the last year, really. But what's next? And wasn't this talk supposed to be about AI? Yes. So we are announcing something huge here today at AWE, and it is called Asset Lab. We are bringing AI generative assets to Studio natively. So we thought deeply about how these can be useful during the developer experience, and we're really excited to give you a deep dive into the tools that we're launching and everything that it's capable of. But at a high level, what is Asset Lab? Asset Lab is a set of features that will allow you to generate images, 3D models, and even animated bipedal characters right within the Studio interface. So we've integrated all of the latest and greatest AI models out there and made it really simple for you to generate assets, prototype, iterate, and try things out in your Studio project. So we did an internal game jam, which is where this pirate game came from. And it really helped us get a lot of our projects off the ground really quickly. And so I'm going to hand it to Rigel to do a super deep dive and show you what it's capable of. So handing it back to you, Rigel.
Thank you. All right. So here we are in Studio. This is a game that I've been prototyping called Thing Fling. In this game, you fling and roll various things around until you get to the next thing, and then you become that thing, and, well, anyway, you'll see. So there's this new tab called Asset Lab on the left side. If we select it, we can see all the assets that my team has generated. We can even search by text prompt, so you can see all the pirate assets, and we can even filter by asset type. So here's just the 3D models. If we select one, we can see who made it, what the prompt was. We can even remix it, download it, or import it into the current project. So Asset Lab uses workflows to generate various asset types. So at launch, we support images, 3D models, and animated 3D characters. Let's start by making a 3D model. So to do this, we're going to select the 3D model workflow. This will drop us into the image step, where we can select from a number of text-to-image and image-to-image models. Today, we support GPT Image 1, Flux Pro, Flux Context, and Stable Image Core. We can also choose between a single view or a multi-view flow. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and type my prompt and choose single view. So I'm going to do a telescope, and we'll go ahead and generate that. Great, looks cute. Okay, so we're gonna send it to the 3D model step, and here we can select from a few different image to 3D models. So we currently support Microsoft's Trellis and several variants of Honeywell 3D 2. I'll go ahead and keep the settings to default and then just run Trellis. Okay, wow, look at that. Looks a lot like the image.
Okay, clap.
And now I'm going to go ahead and import it into my project. So now that it's an asset in my project, I can go ahead and replace the beach ball with something that looks a bit more pirate themed, our new telescope. This will need me to update it in a few places to get this to work. But first we'll just replace the beach ball player asset. We'll increase its mass so it's a little heavier. It's made of metal. And then we'll find the area where we're going to have to roll the thing and make that also match so you know where to go. Oh, there's flinging. You'll see. All right, now we're going to check it out in the AR simulator. So when you hit the play button in Studio, we'll see the AR simulators. These are the sequences I was talking about earlier, and I'll just switch to one. There's the telescope. There it goes. And here now I'm an umbrella, and it's a bit more unwieldy, which is kind of the point. Let's see if I can get the... There you go. Now I'm a cannon, and I'm flinging around as a cannon, and nailed it. That was a lot of practice. Okay. So I think Thing Fling needs a logo. Let's go ahead and make one. So this time, we're going to go to Asset tab, Generate Image. We'll clear the image prompt, and then just type a new text prompt for a fun pirate-themed logo for my game Thing Fling, transparent background. Okay, so this is going to be like a batch of 4. So we'll have 4 different options. This is, again, using GPT Image 1. Once we have this, let's see. Great. I'm going to go back to the library and select the one I like the most, which is this little guy, and import this into the project. Cool. Now I'm going to rename this so it's easier to find. So just like logo.png. And I'll create a new UI element image. So this is our brand new UI element system that we're using here. We support overlay and 3D. For this one, I'm just going to change the texture out to logo PNG, and I'm going to keep it as a 3D UI element so you can see it in AR. Get it positioned just right, and then boom, there it is. That's great. All right. So that's images. Next, we're going to change it up, and we're going to go and create a animated 3D character. So for this, we're tired of sailing the 7 seas. We're going to go launch into space, switching over to a different level that I have. So here we can see, we'll select the animated 3D character. And same deal, but this time we're going to make a multi-view image set. So I'll do a robot this time. It seems more fitting for space. And this works a little differently because in multi-view, we'll create the front view first, and then we'll iterate on the front view until we find something that we like. And then we can generate the other views from the front one as the input. So here, it turned out pretty great the first time. We'll generate a multi-view. So it'll take different views of the same object. And then this is what we'll use to then feed into the 3D model step. We'll use Hunyuan 3D2 this time. Default settings. You feel free to experiment with all of these different settings. There's things like prompt guidance, detail guidance. But yeah, right out of the box, that looks pretty good. And he's in a T-pose, which is really important for the rigging step. So for rigging, we're using Meshi AI to auto-rig and animate our character. At launch, we're including 8 different animation clips in every animated model, but we're going to add more soon. So after we have our rigged model, we'll import him into the project and then give it a test out. So we'll switch over to our Files tab, and we'll rename him to Robot, so it's a little easier to find. And we'll drag him into the scene. And then we'll reposition him so he looks better on the platform. Now let's go ahead and try out some of these clips. So walk looks pretty good. All right, now he's running. What else we got? Idle, classic. You got an attack animation.
Slap.
Yeah, he's zombie walking. But you know, the real test is how well can he dance? Sure, it's what everyone's wondering. There you go. He can dance better than I can. And that's 8th Wall Asset Lab. Thank you.
All right, now that Rigel's shared all the cool, fun, interesting bits, I get to talk to you about pricing.
Yay!
All accounts will, if you have an existing account and you haven't signed up yet, you will get the free recurring monthly credit amount of $50 per month. And yeah, with Asset Lab launching, we now have 2 new paid subscription tiers for credits per month. Core starts at $20 a month, is designed more for individuals or small teams, and Power at $100 a month, more for larger teams or power users, as it were. So we also have a special AWE
Ooh.
special going on. If you sign up, use this QR code. We'll put it up again at the end. But if you don't have an account yet, go ahead and sign up, and you'll get an additional 50 credits. Do this to claim them and use them in the month of June. So just a little something special for our AWE family. Yeah, so okay, that's everything that we have worked on this year, and then we're launching this week. If you stayed this long, I think you deserve a little sneak peek. What do you think? You want to know what's next? Yeah, we've got a few more tricks up our sleeve, and I'm gonna let Rigel tell you about them.
All right, so so we have a lot of exciting things to share. So the first is that we talked about Android being our first native app target, but we're also going to expand that to iOS, Mac, PC, and even allow you to package your eighth wall builds so that they can be hosted anywhere you want to through WebZip. And we think this is really important to expanding reach, which has been part of our mission this whole time. And we're really excited for you to get access to this later. Speaking of later, we also have something that I think is really, really exciting, which is local development. So this year, we're really emphasizing speed and openness with our eighth wall platform. And in the spirit of both of these ideas, we're bringing eighth wall Studio to desktop for the very first time. You'll be able to install eighth wall Studio on your Mac or PC and then use whatever IDE you want, like Cursor, Windsurf, or VS Code. Running locally also means cloud builds are now optional, which will vastly increase iteration speed. And I gotta say, I've used it and it's magical. There's no going back after experiencing instant feedback. You hit save and it's just done. You don't have to wait for anything to come back. It's crazy. And because your Studio project files are now on your computer, Studio will be more flexible with 3D art pipelines and open it up to external source control tools. So gone are the days where you have to re-import a new asset every time it's changed, and now you can just save it locally and it will sync your files and you'll get that immediately in Studio. And there's one last sneak peek that I'd like to share, one that I'm particularly excited about. Now, I mentioned before, augmented reality is for everyone has been eighth wall's mantra since I joined. And it was true when we built our WebAR engine, which allowed any phone to access any AR content, no app required. It was true when we built Studio and then made it free for commercial use. But soon it will also mean that anyone can create augmented reality. Eighth wall Agent will allow you to prompt Studio to edit your scene, write components, or generate new scenes wholesale. And it's extremely powerful. There's a lot of capability here, and I can't go into what all we have planned today, but what I can say is that this will be able to use Asset Lab for you, and this will move with you, not pace ahead of you. And what I mean by that is I have used many vibe coding tools, and the biggest issue that I've always had with them is that it writes a tremendous amount of code in a few seconds, and then you spend the next 10 minutes reading through it, and if you don't, well, good luck later. But our solution will always keep you in the loop. It will move at your pace, and you're always in control. We don't ever want to make you feel like you're in the backseat of a reckless, crazy, autonomous taxi. So yeah, with that, I'll thank you so much.
Thank you. And I think we're about out of time, so catch us in the hallway if you've got questions. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you.